Ajá, y seguimos aquí con
La
nada
hora de la
más.
bestia. ¿Con
La
quién?
hora de
Con
la
nada
bestia.
más y nada menos que
Doug de Build to Spill, que para nosotros, o bueno, sí, yo creo que para los dos es como life
una
goals.
leyenda, una absoluta leyenda.
Sí.
How's your Spanish, Doug?
Hey, how's it going?
¿Cómo estás?
Good.
So, how is your Spanish? You understand some words or?
Not much at all. Sorry to say.
No, don't worry about
No worries, we can manage to speak a little bit of English. So, welcome to La Bestia, Doug. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
it. Yeah, kind of good.
We're good. We're very excited to have you here.
Yeah.
It's an honor to speak with you here, first time in La Bestia. And yeah, where are you? You're in Oregon right now.
I am. I'm in Portland, Oregon.
And what are you doing there? You're like walking to some place.
You're in like the countryside, or where are you exactly?
I'm just in some neighborhood. I'm in town. I was gonna walk around, but I'm afraid of losing you guys. So I'm gonna sit in my yard.
Okay, Doug. So, well, like Fran said, welcome to La Bestia. We are huge fans of Build to Spill. You are like a reference. I don't know if you embrace that, but you are like a god for many bands. You know, it's hard now for you to know that your band or your project was so influenced so many bands, so many new bands. How do you handle that? Do you know that? Do you feel that?
Well, I guess I don't really think about it much. I guess it comes as a surprise when you say it to me.
I know a few bands that points your Build to Spill like one of their Mexican bands actually.
Yeah, I don't know if you've listened to a Mexican band called El Chirota.
I haven't. No, that really surprises me. I had no idea that people in Mexico were paying attention to us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so this is a great Mexican band. They are kind of, getting popular. They are already popular in Mexico, kind of popular. And they are doing some shows in the US. And, Nacho, the singer from El Chirota, we'll send you the link with Patty, but he's a huge fan of Build to Spill. He will be very happy when he sees we spoke to you.
But that's sweet to hear.
Yeah, totally. And how? I mean, I hear all your albums from early '90s, since I was young boy. And how do you get that sound? Because it's really refined. It's minimal, but it's really hard to do that. Because everybody put layers and layers and layers of stuff and
distortion.
Exactly. And Build to Spill is like a really refined sound. It's really hard to make that, or for you was the easy way to do it?
Well, each record's kind of different and depends on who I'm working with, producer-wise, and the other musicians and stuff. But to be honest, I've never had a clue what I'm doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing.
All right.
Yeah, it's curious because we have a recording studio here, and we sometimes work with new bands, and getting sound is hard. It takes time. How do you think this has changed over the years for you? Because of course, you've been out for 20 years now. So how do you feel like things have changed over the years?
Well, I think next year will be the 30-year anniversary of our first record.
30 years.
And that record we just made by ourselves, some musicians and myself that didn't really know what we were doing at all in a little studio in Idaho. And then after that, we started working with Phil Eck. We worked with him for a few records, and he really did know what he was doing. And I don't know, I don't know how he got sounds he got. And then each record after that, it's been kind of a mixture of doing some stuff on my own and doing stuff with other producers. And this newest record, pretty much just recorded at home on my computer during the pandemic. Yeah, it's a mixture of people that know what they're doing and people like myself that don't know what we're doing.
But what do you mean when you say you don't know what you're doing? Because when I listen to Build to Spill, like that clearly sounds like, you know, that people know what they're doing. So what do you mean when you say I don't know what I'm doing? Do you just like kind of express yourself and just like play whatever feels good to you, or what's, you know, can you explain a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, I assumed you were talking about production values. And as far as that stuff goes, I really don't, like, I don't know how to EQ something to, like, I don't know what 1500 hertz is going to do if I turn that up or down. I don't know how to dial in a compressor to, like, make it, you know, have a certain effect on things. I just don't understand those sorts of things. So I ended up just kind of plugging things in and going for it and hoping for the best with a lot of this stuff that I've done at home. Whereas, you know, actual engineers really understand the physics of sound, and that stuff I have almost no understanding of at all.
I feel you, because we are not trained musicians, and we used to have a band, and I always like recommend to new bands that to hear a lot of music, to think about it, how they made it, because I think you can replicate some stuff with it's like I don't know, if you're gonna be a chef, you have to try a lot of food and try to think about how it was made and what are the ingredients that you like. And I think that's what makes a good record or a song, you know, maybe more a feeling thing than a technical thing.
Yeah, actually, I think that's what makes Build to Spill such an amazing band. Is, you know, I feel connected to what you say, because I also don't know, like, if I sit on the studio, I don't know, you know, what the fuck I'm looking at. It's like, what is this? But that's great, because, you know, I think like the bands that I like the most are the bands that are kind of like expressing something, like you get the feeling of what they're trying to say. And I think that's what happens to Build to Spill. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think it's the same thing with writing music or writing lyrics or playing the guitar. Any of those things, I feel like every time I go to do it, I feel like I haven't learned anything. Like I don't have, you know, any skills that I've learned over the years. I feel like I'm starting from scratch every time I try to make music, you know. And I know that over the years I've become a little bit better at playing guitar and singing just from doing live shows. But as far as making records goes, it feels like I'm stepping into the studio for the first time every single time.
That's amazing, because 30 years after, it's like you can...
It's easy to say 30 years.
Exactly. You could lose some passion or whatever, but I don't think so. We hear the songs that you released already, and they are great. I mean, they feel fresh,
yeah,
even
actually,
that the band is not new, you know?
Yeah, if there was like there must be like tons of new people listening to new Build to Spill songs, and they must feel like, oh, I just found a new band, and I love this new band. And then they go to Wikipedia and they find out like, oh no, this band is 30 years.
Hey, that's a really sweet thing to hear.
Are you looking for that, or you are kind of just make songs and let's see what's happened, you know, with no expectations?
Yeah, I don't have too much expectation, but of course, I think anyone that's putting out music into the world wants to, you know, wants people to love it.
Yeah, I agree with you, because it's good to hear that, because we fight with the new bands sometimes that are like, no, we are do-it-yourself and we make our own stuff.
We don't want help from anyone.
We don't want help, but at the end they want to be here, you know, because if they are releasing something to anywhere, it's because they want to be here, you know. It's
yeah, exactly. And you want to be heard by people who, you know, you want to be heard by people who seem like the kind of people that you knew and loved when you were a kid, and you know, it means a lot to put out something that people that don't relate to the mainstream kind of things that are out there can relate to, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I still feel like strongly about that, and I feel like Built to Spill. You know, you say that we've had some success, but we never had so much success that I felt like we weren't still trying to prove ourselves to people. You know.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, 30 years back now, are you nostalgic a little bit about what you guys lived 30 years ago?
The 90s.
The 90s, exactly, because we are. I mean, we are not that young, so
we can't let the 90s go.
We can't. So I don't know. You live it from a perspective of having a band and playing with a bunch of great bands also. So it's kind of, you're nostalgic about it, or you just don't care anymore.
I personally have zero nostalgia, but I understand that our music is nostalgic for people, and you know, I like playing songs off our first record, but every time I play them, to me it's not going back in time to revisit, you know, our first record. To me it's trying to play it today, trying to play it better than I've ever played it each time I play it.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. And what do you think about like, I think that music now, or maybe the lockdown, helped guitar music to, I won't say reborn, because, you know, rock and roll and guitar music, has always been there, maybe not in the spotlight, but there's always been rock and roll bands and great rock and roll bands. But it feels like, particularly on this, well, at least the first 2 years of this decade, the 2020s, is being a great year for guitar music and for punk and rock and roll. Do you think, or why do you think this is happening, or do you feel the same as maybe we do here in the radio station? Like, there are tons of new bands, and there are great new bands, because it's not only that there are, you know, the amount of bands, but also the quality. Like, there are tons of great bands, new bands. Why do you think this is happening? Are you listening to any good new stuff that you're finding? And do you think like the lockdown helped this, maybe? Because probably people were just sitting on their sofas and were like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do 1 year locked or like on definite time? And people started buying guitars and playing stuff. Do you think this has something to do, like, relate to each other?
I really have no idea about that. I don't know about much new things happening. I do know some new stuff, but it's mostly on a local level. Bands from Boise and some bands that I've discovered here in Portland. Some of my friends' music that I listen to, and so there's a lot of great music that I've discovered. But I think it's probably, I mean, I know for a fact that it's different than the music that you've discovered, and I don't know about the whole guitar rock thing. I've never, there's times over the last 30 years where people have said that it was over, and then people say it's back, and then it's over, and I've just never paid attention to any of that. And to me, the guitar music is not that important. I listen to reggae and soul music, and that, has guitars in it, but I wouldn't call it guitar music. And I'm happy to listen to music with all synthesizers. To me, it's about some kind of soul in the music, and it has nothing to do with the instruments that are being played.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, I think, also. And, probably like being exposed to the mainstream kind of world is making, or has always made people not, pay so much attention to that part that you're saying, that, the soul of things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I think there's great stuff in mainstream music too. I think Doja Cat is amazing. I think in the past, things like the Beatles and through time there's been lots of mainstream music that's been incredible. Mostly it doesn't speak to me too much, and I'm more excited about people's personal things. I like seeing a band in a small place with just a few people out there. I like the way people are when they're not famous, and they're not when their music isn't well known, and the kind of people that they are, and the way that they present their music when they don't have everyone wrapped around their finger yet.
It's more honest.
Yeah, exactly. More honest and more kind of just sort of just more like a real person and not like a. I think people when they do a bunch of music, and I'm sure I'm like this too, they become so comfortable in what they do. It just has a different feel to it. I really enjoy people that are still kind of struggling and figuring out what they're doing.
They're pushing the limits, you know. If you're struggling, you are like fighting with yourself. Yeah.
Totally. I love people who are trying to play something that they're not quite really even able to play yet. I like a drummer who has all these big ideas and just can barely keep up. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's funny to hear. It's funny to hear that you're listening to reggae or another kind of music, because we read about you and we know that you like from the past, of course, Dinosaur Jr. and the Pixies and Pavement, and of course we hear those influence on Built to Spill, and it's funny now to hear that you're more on the reggae side and still making like rock songs. Because
I feel like if I could make reggae or soul music I would, but I just don't have it in me. I'm who I am. I'm definitely not the kind of person that can pull that stuff off.
That's great, Doc. So let's hear Understood. That is your first single from this new album, and we will come back.
Cool.
Ok, vamos a escuchar Understood de Built to Spill. Estamos hablando con Doug de Built to Spill y ya regresamos. Okay, so Doug, this is a fake live, so we can continue.
Yeah, you don't have to wait like 4 minutes for the song to end. So
I wanted to hear it. I was hearing it.
So we're gonna do now a quick round of stupid questions, if that's okay with you. For us would be ideal if we have your
face.
If we can see your face.
Okay,
but
I'll bring my face
I'm not sure if you. I mean, if it's not possible, no worries. It still works.
It's totally possible. I can't see your guys'. I couldn't see your guys' faces, but I didn't know if you wanted to see mine.
Okay.
No, it's just because it's a funny, like, uncomfortable questions.
Yeah, it's really a very stupid thing, but it's fun. So
it's fun. Yeah.
Trying to get a good background for myself. All right.
Cool. Thanks. Okay.
Great.
Okay, so we'll start now. First one is what's on your Spotify, or well, it doesn't has to be Spotify, but what's in your headphones?
Well, kind of playlists of one song by different artists. Not many albums these days. I mostly just listen to what I consider to be the hits of stuff I like, and it's mostly old soul stuff. And just a lot of random things that I kind of stumble on.
Cool. Second question is, did MTV kill rock and roll?
Did MTV kill rock and roll? I don't think so.
Okay. Next one is, what do you prefer? I'm gonna say 5 options. Well, 5 questions, but it's what you prefer best. First one is Harry Styles or Dua Lipa?
Is Harry Styles?
Harry Styles or Dua Lipa? What do you prefer best?
Jeez, I don't. I'm so. I'll go Dua Lipa.
Okay, next one is Big Muff or Rat Pedal?
I'll go Big Muff.
Next one is Dinosaur Jr. or Pavement?
Well, I was a pretty hardcore Dinosaur guy.
Okay, next one is what you prefer better, Fender guitars or Gibson guitars?
I just happened to stumble into the Fender world, and that's where I ended up, so I'm gonna have to go with that.
Okay, next one is what you prefer best, Steve Albini or Butch Big?
Who's Butch Big? Butch Vig?
Yeah.
Butch Vig?
Butch Vig. Yeah.
Sorry for
my bad pronunciation. It's Butch Vig.
I'm so sorry. Hey, I don't know. I feel like Steve Albini is a little bit of a. I feel like I felt like he's been discouraging to some people trying to record music, and so I'm not a fan of either of their production. But I'm gonna go with Butch Vig on this one.
Okay, next one is what's worst, Grammys or Billboards?
Probably Grammys. I don't know.
Okay, what's worse, ukuleles or acoustic guitars?
Ukuleles.
What's worse, glam or butt rock?
Butt rock.
Okay, next one is overrated or underrated. First one is Dr. Martens boots.
Overrated.
Grunge.
Overrated.
Guitar solos.
Overrated.
Record labels.
Overrated.
Next one is what you prefer best, Nardwuar or Howard Stern?
Who or Howard Stern?
Nardwuar.
I don't know who that is, but I'll take him over Howard Stern. Or
Okay.
her, whoever that is.
It's Nardwuar, the human serviette, the famous interviewer.
No.
No, no worries.
Not,
Okay.
not ringing a bell.
Okay. So when in Mexico City, what do you prefer? Street tacos or tap water?
I don't know. Tap water.
Okay. What do you prefer better? Beavis and Butthead or the Ren and Stimpy show?
That's a tough one. I think I might be more of a Ren and Stimpy guy.
Cool. What do you prefer better, to play with Bill to Spill at a stadium show or bar show?
I think they're both pretty fun these days, but I'm going to have to say a bar is probably a little funner.
Can you name a Mexican song?
Can I name a Mexican song?
Mexican
Jeez.
song.
I don't know if I,
Any
I don't know if
Mexican
I
song.
can. Like,
You
La
can-
Cucaracha.
La cucaracha.
La Cucaracha. Okay, cool. Next one is name a song that you wish you'd written.
La Cucaracha.
Okay, great. Can you tell us your best memory of the 90s? We know now that you're not a nostalgic guy, but what's your best memory from the 90s?
Maybe the first time we got to play with Dinosaur. We got to open for Dinosaur.
Where was that?
That was actually here in Portland, maybe in 1990, 92 maybe. We opened, and then Nirvana played, and then Dinosaur played.
Whoa.
Amazing. What can you recall from that night? Is there any specific memory?
Our bass player broke a string and didn't have a replacement, and he had to like tie his string into a knot, and somehow was able to fix it. It took him a few minutes, but we were able to finish our set. I thought that was pretty amazing that he pulled that off.
That's amazing. Okay, and last question is, if your last name was Kardashian, who would you date? Pete Davidson, Kanye West, or Travis Barker?
Oh my God. I'll go with Travis Barker.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doug. This is the end of the stupid questions. Last, we'll just ask if that's fine with you to record some IDs for the radio station.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so first is like, hey, this is Doug from Build to Spill, and you're listening to our new album. Name of the album, On La Bestia Radio.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me.
It's hard.
That's
I
a tough
just
word.
forget it. I just
You
forgot.
think it was hard? You think it was hard for you to say Butch Vig? Wait till I try to say your radio show's name.
It's La Bestia Radio.
I'm gonna write it down.
Like the beast, La Bestia.
La Bestia.
La
You sound like a fighter from Lucha Libre.
Gosh, I feel so embarrassed by my lack of Spanish. Okay, what is it? La Bestia?
Bestia
Radio.
Oh, Bestia. Oh,
Bestia.
gotcha. Okay.
La Bestia, radio or radio, whatever you feel most comfortable. La Bestia radio, La Bestia radio.
What, how
It's
La Bestia Radio?
La Bestia radio. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Beast.
The Beast.
Even you can say the Beast if you want. The Beast Radio.
All right. Hey, this is Doug from Built to Spill. You're listening to our new album, When the Wind Forgets Your Name, on La Bestia Radio.
Great. And the last one is, hey, this is Doug from Built to Spill, and why the fuck aren't you listening to La Bestia radio?
Hey, this is Doug from Built to Spill. Why the fuck aren't you listening to La Bestia Radio?
Great. Well,